Imagine for just a second that you're a brand new stacker and you've decided that you want to buy some gold and silver and you want to start your stack, but then you looked at it and you got confused and you realize there's so many different options and you don't know what type of gold or silver is the best to get. Well, today we are going to talk about that, and we're going to be joined by Keith from the Coin Crew, and we're going to discuss some of the best types of silver and gold that new stackers should be looking at, and also some types of gold and silver that you should either think twice about or maybe even avoid. So let's go ahead and do that. But really quick, do me a favor before we do. Go down below and make sure you're subscribed. We're almost at 200,000 subscribers, and I would love for you to be one of them. My channel is sponsored by SDBullion.com. New customers can get their first order of gold or silver at spot by going to SDBullion.com/new. All right, everyone. So like I said, we are joined by a coin dealer. This is Keith from the Coin Crew. He's a coin shop owner out of Muskegon, Michigan. Now, Keith, coin dealers obviously are going to be biased when it comes to selling gold or silver because they want people to buy it. But what I wanted to do is get around the bias today by asking a different type of question. So let's say that you have a customer coming into your shop that already knows he's going to buy gold and silver. He's already made that decision, but he doesn't know what to buy. So what I want to ask you is, what is the best type of silver, or the type of silver that you would recommend to him, and gold as well? We'll get into that also. And then later I'll ask you what is maybe the worst type of silver or what they should avoid, again, as well as gold. So let's start it off by doing this. If someone were to walk into your coin shop today with $1,000, they already know they're buying silver with it, but they don't know what they want to buy, what would you recommend they buy?
Well, there are two types of silver that I recommend for beginners. The first I recommend is 90% because it's close to spot, it's divisible, you can break that ounce down. So that's a good thing. The second I recommend is pure silver. That's generic rounds. Again, close to spot, and when you need to resell it, you're not getting too far off, sometimes a little over, sometimes a little under spot.
Okay. So you mentioned a little over, a little under spot for rounds, but what about when selling back 90%? Because I do know in today's market, and I know in the past it's been different, but in today's market, it's hard to sell 90% for even spot price. A lot of shops are paying back of spot. So is that something they should be concerned with when buying? Should they worry about what they can turn around and resell it for in the future? You know, getting that premium back, so on and so forth?
I don't think they should worry too much about reselling it in the future as far as getting the premium back, because we stack this to preserve our wealth. So hopefully we don't run into that issue. But if we do, they just have to look at the market, see where the premiums are the best, and sell that particular item instead of another.
So what you're saying is people should hold on to it for the future, where that premium doesn't really matter as much because the value has increased above that premium, because coin shops have to make a profit, obviously, so they can't buy it and sell it for the same number. But, you know, hopefully they're buying it for future wealth, and that won't matter. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying, because what you want to do as a beginning stacker is get as much silver as you can for the least amount of money to get your stack growing at a faster rate, whereas buying something with higher premiums, you're going to get less bang for your buck.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I've talked about it before. Like, you know, I tell people that, you know, if let's say silver goes to $50 or $60 an ounce, what would you rather have? You know, higher premium silver that you're going to get a couple of dollars an ounce more for when you sell it, or just more ounces overall? You know what I mean? And you're saying that people should just worry about more ounces?
I think in the beginning they should worry about more ounces, but as they go on, they may want to diversify their stack.
Okay. So what about silver eagles then? Like, eagles cost more, but, you know, people can sell them for more as well. Like, you get a higher premium for those when you turn around and sell them. Is that something you would recommend first, or is that something you would recommend for later?
I would recommend the silver eagle at a later time because, as you said, the premium is higher. You want to get as much silver as you can in the beginning. But please bear in mind, as silver goes up, there are going to be more people trusting a silver eagle over generic round. Therefore, you know, if silver was to say hit $50 to $100, you might be better off with something where people trust it more.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. So let me ask you this. What types of silver, if that person were walking in with $1,000 today, what would you tell them to avoid right now? What kind of silver would you say, probably this is not the best thing to buy?
Well, for a beginning stacker, and I would explain it to them, you need to get silver eagles, but not in the beginning. You want to get as much as you can. And you stay away from, I guess a lot of people call it ice cream silver, where the premium is just ridiculously high. Something like Libertads, they're pretty high. Chinese pandas, silver pandas are high.
Gotcha. I've never actually heard that term, ice cream silver. That's interesting. Where did that term come from?
I actually got that from another YouTuber, and it just refers to silver that is well above the normal low premium.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So, like a lot of semi-newbies, we're talking, like you had said, pandas and libertads, but, there's a lot of other ones out there that, they put the licensed stuff on, like the Captain America, Marvel stuff, and your Star Wars and things like that. Do they tend to bring their premium back when people, like, if someone were to walk into your shop with a bunch of that stuff right now? I mean, are you going to offer them much stronger than you would just say a Silver Eagle, or is that something they should really just kind of watch out for?
Well, in the beginning, you should watch out for that type of stuff. Now, if you're a collector of, say, Batman or Superman, of course, get one, get two, just to have them. But as far as to stack, I don't recommend that type because it does hold a bigger premium. And as a dealer, if things are tight, I'm not going to be able to pay you that super high premium. Let's say it's $60 an ounce. I'm not going to be able to pay you $55 an ounce because I have to have a buyer for that in order to pay that large premium.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. And I tell people all the time, I'm a collector and a stacker. So I have a stack of silver that is generic low premium stuff, but I also like to buy one or two of like things that I really like to look at because I think silver is pretty beautiful as well. So I get that, but I think you kind of concur based on what you just said is like, if you're going to get into that kind of stuff, buy one or two and then put the rest of your money, like the rest of your stack, into the low premium stuff. Would you agree?
Yeah, I totally agree with putting most of your money into the low premium stuff. But I do, have a little bit of reserve about the higher premium stuff because you need to have some of it.
Okay.
Diversity is the key to stacking silver. It will keep you interested in stacking silver because if you say buy 100 buffaloes, which are generic silver rounds, eventually you're like, oh, I got enough. But if you buy a little bit of the premium stuff, the ice cream type silver, the licensed silver, you keep your interest peaked. And the more you get, the more you want.
That makes sense. It's kind of a snowball effect with that. I know because I've been in that snowball. So
you have to keep yourself interested. And that's where, as later on, as you're collecting more, buying the licensed silver.
All right, so what about gold? Now, obviously, there's a little bit different of a market with gold. And let me tell you where I am, just so you kind of understand where my thought process is. And then maybe you can tell me I'm just wrong, okay? But I look at silver and I look at the premiums on silver. It's a lot easier for me to buy generic 1 ounce silver rounds, than it is for me to, say, buy a 1 ounce generic silver bar. The premium difference, if you look at it on a percentage basis between a 1 ounce bar and a 1 ounce gold eagle, really isn't that big of a difference if you look at it on a percentage basis, right? Because gold price is so high. Whereas if you look at that percentage difference on silver, it's an astronomical difference. So with gold, unlike silver, I actually tend to prefer gold eagles and gold maples and things like that. Am I wrong there? And then again, if someone with gold will say $10,000, okay, because $1,000 in gold isn't even going to get you an ounce. But let's say someone has $10,000 to buy gold. What would you recommend? Am I wrong there?
I would love to say you're wrong. However, I agree with you. I think I think gold bars are not the way to go in a 1 ounce form. If you're going to break it down, maybe some 1 gram, 5 gram bars, that's fine. But when you jump up to a 1 ounce gold bar, it is expensive, whether you buy a gold eagle or a gold bar. And again, it depends on the dealer's position, how close he can pay. But you're never going to get spot for a gold bar, whereas you can get spot. I remember a year or so ago, I was buying gold eagles at plus $250. However, that is quite a bit less than it is with gold spot today, but it's the premium that really makes the difference.
Right. Yeah, I like I said, so for example, what right now, Keith, like just give me an idea, and I know you don't have your numbers in front of you, it's early, but what premium would you sell a 1 ounce gold eagle for? And then what premium would you sell, say, a Valcambi 1 ounce gold bar for? You don't have to give me the spot price, not plus premium, just what the premium is, plus what?
Usually a Valcambi is about 1-2% over, whereas a gold bar, whereas a gold eagle may be double that percentage, about 3-4.
So a gold bar, let's say gold's sitting at like close to 2,700. Let's just say 2,700 right now. So a gold bar would be plus 54. A gold eagle would be 108. So that's when you use like, well, that's a big difference. That's $54 in difference. But when you look at it versus $2,700, it doesn't really seem like a big difference. Now, what if someone walked into your shop today with a 1 ounce gold eagle and that same 1 ounce gold Valcambi? What would you pay for both of those, over or under spot?
I would pay about 97% on the Valcambi bar. I would pay spot on the gold eagle.
So you would actually do better with the gold eagle then, because you're only paying 1 or 2% more for the eagle, but you're getting 3% more when you sell it back.
That is correct. And again, as I was talking about silver earlier, not to backtrack the video, we were saying it's important as silver gets higher, people trust the eagles over generic rounds. It's the same thing with gold, except gold's already there. Gold is already high, so people are going to trust that gold eagle. It's easier to sell for the dealer than a 1 ounce bar. I can have a 1 ounce bar in my case, and I can have a 1 ounce gold eagle. I can sell 10 1 ounce gold eagles, and I might sell one 1 ounce gold bar. That's the difference.
But so what you're saying is that if silver were to skyrocket in price, get $100, $200 an ounce, and let's say in the, some future world that does happen, it's going to be a little bit harder to trust that lower premium silver. Is that because like people fake it? Like, is there a lot of fakes out there? Do more fakes come out of the woodwork as the prices go up? I mean, what is it about the trust that makes people trust the eagle more than the generic?
Well, the thing is, they'll fake anything. There's no doubt about it, whether it's silver, gold, whether it's a silver eagle, gold eagle, or generic bar. The thing is, when a sovereign country makes a silver ounce, it has the same dimensions, thickness, diameter, purity, and it can be tested year after year. And if there is a change in that product, they advertise it. They let you know. Like the U.S. Mint, they were making silver proof sets out of 90%. And in 2019, big old advertisement, now they're pure. So people can know just by measuring their gold, their silver. Whereas if you take a private mint, you might have, I don't know how many there are. Let's just say 10,000. So that's 10,000 different measurements for that same 1 ounce gold or 1 ounce silver. So therefore, trust is important, and that's where a sovereign coin comes in at.
So to clarify Keith's point here, guys, because I do agree with them there on that point, is that with a sovereign coin, so for example, a gold eagle, like he had said, it has a very specific diameter and thickness and weight and purity. If you can replicate some of those characteristics, but you cannot replicate every single one of those characteristics without it also being the exact same mixture and amount of gold. So there's something called a ping test. It won't pass the ping test even if you have the same size and weight. If it's not gold, it's not going to pass that ping test. You can't pass every single test, on a gold eagle and it also not be that gold. So why would they fake it and also make it real gold? Unless, I guess, maybe it's a key date coin. And here's a good question. So, I just said all of that. Let's look at numismatics for a second. 1893 S Morgan silver dollar. A lot of fakes out there. Okay. Very, very key coin. They could technically fake an 1893 S if they used 90% silver that they melted from other silver dollars. So is that something that happens with gold as well, or no? I mean, like I'm talking about the high premium, like the collectible, hard to find, low mintage gold.
Kind of like a 1907 high relief double eagle.
Yeah,
St. God.
Exactly.
It does happen. As a matter of fact, on that particular coin, there is what they call an Omega counterfeit. And it was so good that PCGS actually slabbed them, not realizing that they were counterfeits.
Oh, wow.
And if you go back and do some research, the Omega counterfeits didn't just do that particular coin. They did different gold coins. And they put a little Omega symbol on the reverse on the double eagle. But PCGS found that, and that particular counterfeit is so good that PCGS does still slab that coin. But they annotate that it's an Omega variety or counterfeit. I'm not sure exactly how they do that.
If they weren't able to detect it back then, what changed? Like, how did they figure out that that was fake?
The only thing I can think is someone was looking at it really good and they seen the Omega stamp on the reverse.
Whoa, wait. There's an actual Omega stamp on the reverse of these coins?
Yes.
Oh,
On
wow.
this particular counterfeit,
Okay.
they done eagles, double eagles, 2.5s, 5s. They put the Omega stamp on the coin. I guess that's so the counterfeit would know, hey, this is the fake one.
All right, Keith, so the final question is, because I didn't get a chance to ask it, and I did say at the beginning it was going to be part of this video, what type of gold would you tell people to avoid then today?
As far as gold to avoid, it's really a tough topic, but I would have to stay away from stuff that has irregularities in purity, meaning they sell some 14 karat gold coins, for example, from Canada. Stick with something that's 90% or better on the gold coins. And if you aren't buying your gold bars from a reputable dealer, I don't recommend buying those at all.
Okay.
I just love the silver coins, gold overall.
Yeah, absolutely. So just if you don't trust the dealer 100% where you're getting it, just stay away from bars completely because of the fakes that we talked about.
There are a lot of fake bars out there.
Gotcha. So trust your source basically before buying it. Okay. So what about these? What about those 0.24 pure 10th ounce Cook Island coins?
Dude, I wish I had it in my hand. It's over there in my coat pocket. I have one. And stay away from, look for little things like that where it's like 0.24 carat, because that's not 24 carat. It's 1.4% of 24 carat.
Yeah, I know. It was that coin, by the way, guys, that we're talking about. I did a video on a while back, but basically Cook Islands made a 10th ounce gold coin that was the size of what you would expect a 10th ounce gold coin to be. And they even wrote 24 karat on the coin. But if you look really closely with the loop, you will see that there's a little period in front of the 24. And sure enough, it's actually only 24% gold, but they made it look like it was 24 karat, and it fooled a lot of people.
Yeah, even I guess you could say manufacturers, they'll do what they can to try to make a buck. And I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
People should be straightforward. People should be honest. If they were going to do that, they should have said, this is only 24% gold. You know, make it a little bit more evident instead of trying to fool people and just put that little dot there.
Absolutely. Well, Keith, listen, I really appreciate it. And guys, Keith has his own YouTube channel called Coin Crew. I'm going to put a link for that down below. Make sure you go check it out. He's getting ready to do a really cool unboxing on your video, aren't you? On your channel, I should say.
Yeah, I've got a box of 1962 proof sets.
Yeah, unopened.
Very interesting.
I would love to find out if they're really sealed inside or not. It'd be interesting. So
we will find out.
All right, guys. Well, like I said, check them out. And don't forget to like and subscribe in this video as well if you haven't done so yet. And we will see you in the next one. Thank you for joining us, Keith.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.